by Barkha KumariBarkha Kumari, Bangalore Mirror Bureau, updated, July 1, 2018, 1 o'clock. Last month, in the second week of June, Sabarinath Subramanian cancelled a trip to the picturesque Western Ghats between Sakleshpur and Subrahmanya Road, following a forecast for heavy rainfall. That turned out to be a wise call because it not only poured but also saw landslides. And just like that, Subramanian's hobby had saved the day for him and his friends. The 27-year-old is into amateur weather forecasting, i.e. much like meteorologists, he follows weather patterns, studies local and global data, makes predictions, and broadcasts that on social media. His data had foreseen the deluge. The businessman from Mysore is not the only one from the city reading into sky conditions, cloud cover, temperature, humidity, air pressure, and wind direction. At least 20 others like him, working professionals, college students, and a ham radio enthusiast, are united on a WhatsApp group called Bengalureans to track weather changes, mostly in and around the city. 3 of its members own a weather station each, installed on the roof of their homes, while others such as Subramanian operate a manual rain gauge. A few prefer sifting through the enormous amount of open data available online. Weather forecasting is tricky, and these amateur weathermen admit they get it right only 5-6 times out of 10. Just this Friday, they had foreseen heavy and day-long showers along the Western Ghats, but the sky opened up only for 2 hours. Yet, they have takers. They have 3,417 followers on their Twitter page BNG Weather. One of the members, Praveen Chandrasekaran, had started it when Cyclone Barkha stormed into the city in 2016 and family members, friends, and colleagues have them on speed dial. Karnataka State Natural Disaster Monitoring Centre, KSNDMC, and Bangalore Traffic Police have also retweeted their reports. 1 or 2 farmers have consulted their data. While they don't yet relay updates to the local meteorology department and researchers working in the field of agriculture, they are open to the idea because the expert amateur liaison is a norm in other parts of the world as it helps to gather local and accurate metrics. For now, they publish their findings on crowdsourcing portals such as Wonderground.com and ThinkSpeak.com. It began Ask Subramanian how he got interested in the weather business, and he laughs and goes back in time. It was in class 8 or 9 when I learnt about the orographic lift in geography. This happens when the wind hits a mountain, rises up the slope, cools down and comes down as rain. I was intrigued. Also, growing up in Bengaluru, I had seen so much rainfall. I then started looking for weather forecasts in newspapers and on TV. Many years later, I came across and joined a blog called kaweather.net where people from Chennai and Bengaluru used to discuss the weather. School lessons piqued Umama Warren's interest too, so did the curious child in him, who went on to join the same blog in the WhatsApp group that was carved out of it later. The software engineer says, back in the day, I used to go to Malleswaram for my college studies. It would rain there, but when I got home, my family would say they had no rains in our area, along Tumkur Road. How's that possible? I used to wonder. Then, if the wind speed increased over Tamil Nadu, my native state, my elders used to say monsoon must have hit Kerala. They would consult no data, yet they would be right. They just looked up at the sky. Now, the 29-year-old operates a weather station that he's built from scratch. I wanted it ready before the monsoon. I have customized it to gather info on mixing ratio, which is, how many grams of moisture there are in 1 kilogram of air. This way, the data is more localized, he says. You would know Bengaluru's proverbial weather has lost its charm, it is getting hotter and erratic. This started bothering the GN too, and in 2012, he decided to find out why. The 37-year-old technologist, who blogs about the weather, though sporadically, and is not part of this group, says, I first downloaded the data of many decades from the website of India Meteorological Department (IMD) to analyze the variations. That wasn't enough. Next year, I bought a hobby-grade weather station from the US, called NetEcmo. My parents and neighbors were surprised to see the old cellular kinda antenna on the roof. In 2015, I got a bigger one from ISTLast Technologies. But I simply record data, I don't make predictions because it's a far bigger, complex science. Not just weather, he also monitors air quality because his wife is allergic to dust, he says. City First Bengaluru weather has much to keep these hobbyists occupied too. Umamaheswaran explains, our weather is a little different. For instance, we get more rains from March to May than during the actual monsoon season. Then we also have unseasonal showers in October to November. And if you have ever wondered why we receive scattered rainfall, it is because most of our rain comes from thunderstorms. Only monsoon and cyclones bring widespread rainfall. Also, why is South Bengaluru wetter than North? Juvenile speculations in the group blame it on the wind movement. And why did we receive 1,615.2 millimeters of rain last year, the highest in 115 years? Their guess is some heat island effect. With monsoon gathering steam and weather becoming unstable, the group is going to get busier. This is the time when we constantly track weather changes along the Ghats and coasts, says Chandrasekaran. Plans ahead. So, what does it mean to be on top of the weather news? Well, a rumble in the sky and our work comes to a halt, chuckles Umamaheswaran. It can take up to 2 hours of data crunching to make a forecast. That involves consulting the readings of their own weather equipment and mathematical weather models from Global Forecast System and European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts. From time to time, they also contact their counterparts in Mysuru, Chennai and Mumbai for updates and leads. Then, the analysis is peer-reviewed and approved on their WhatsApp group. Only then does it go out on Twitter. Other times, friends call up to find if this or that is a good day to go to a hill station, a ghat or for trekking, he adds. Subramanian believes Bengaluru is underprepared to handle rains. 5 minutes of it and the city comes to a halt. So people want to know the forecast so that they can be prepared with umbrellas and raincoats, or leave home or work before it starts pouring. Some use this info to apply for work from home, he says. Tejesh has coded an algorithm by which his weather station sends an alert to his mobile phone every time the temperature goes below 19°C, shoots above 29°C, or if it rains. If I know it will rain, I leave behind my bike and book a cab instead, he says. Daily weather forecasts are not as valued here in India as they are in countries such as the US or UK, believes Umamaheswaran. But I am sure that will change, he says, because Bengaluru's weather is no longer what it used to be, and the poor infrastructure and transport system is making it important for people to understand weather patterns.